Hi, this is Dale Scott, retired Major League umpire. Today I want to give you a few tips on how to de-escalate when situations get really heated on the baseball field. And trust me, it will. But there's certain tips and certain things you can do that maybe can bring the temperature down, and that's what we're trying to do as umpires. You know, when you arrive at the venue, you are being judged, you are being evaluated from that moment on. I mean, from the moment you get there until you leave, you are being watched. And so be appropriate, look good, have a purpose. Don't be lazily walking to your plate meeting or giving body language like, you just don't really want to be there. That is going to set off all kinds of alarms. All right, so be there with a purpose. Walk out with a nice pace. Greet the coaches as they come to the plate meeting. Introduce yourself. Get their names and be very businesslike, because that's exactly what you're doing. You're running this show, so to speak. When you go over ground rules after the introductions, do the ground rules from behind the home plate and then go all the way around the field. Don't be haphazard, like this down here at right field is a line here, and then over here by third base there's this, and then over here at first base there's this. You don't want to go hopscotching. Do the field all the way around, and when you're doing the ground rules. And then let the coaches know, hey, listen, if there's a situation, if there's a question, if you want a clarification, we're more than happy to do that. Maybe sometimes that will have to be in between innings, instead of stopping the game. It all depends on the situation. But let them know that you're open to talking with them, and you should be. Umpires should be able to talk and be willing to talk about any situation. It's when things get heated and people are screaming and don't really want to hear what you have to say when things change. Once the game starts, make sure that if a situation does arise and a coach comes out, listen to them. Okay, you have two ears and one eye and one mouth. So you should listen a little bit more than what you talk. And what we mean by that is they want to be heard. If a player or coach feels like you're not listening to them, you're not trying to understand where they're coming from, that's not going to help the situation at all. Listen to them, see what they have to say, and then explain to them what you have. If it's a simple judgment call, I have it out, you have it safe. This is what we're going to do, Coach. I had him out. I'm sorry you disagree, but we're going to move on. Maybe it's a rule situation. You have to explain the rule and tell him that he gets two bases by rule. It's not my judgment. It's the fact that the ball went out of play and he gets two bases. Or maybe it's a situation where you have intent or non-intent, but it's still an infraction. For example, a base coach is trying to get out of the way of a fielder going after a pop-up, but he interferes with him. He didn't mean to. There was no intent there, but still, you have to get out of the way, period. And he didn't, and that was interference, and you would have it out. But if you can explain these things and try to let them know what you have, and just again trying to keep that temperature down. Now, sometimes that just doesn't work. Sometimes a coach doesn't want to hear what you have to say. Sometimes a coach is trying to continue the argument when things have all been said. One of the keys to an umpire is when a coach has explained something and now starts saying stuff he's already said. He's now circling back and repeating what has already been said. That's the time when you have to say, okay, I've heard what you had to say. It's now time to move on. Ejections are part of baseball. Ejections are in the rule book. But if you take steps to try to listen to them and explain to them, a lot of times if a coach or player ends up getting ejected, he ejected himself. By that I mean you gave him the opportunity, you explained the situation, you let them know that this is now the argument is over. I've heard you. You've heard me. This is the situation we're in, and that's when they continue on and won't leave or just want to make a bit of a mockery of everything. That's what we mean by they ejected themselves. You gave them plenty of opportunity, and they didn't take it. But remember, our job is to try, obviously, to enforce the rules and to with our judgment make decisions out there. No one is going to 100% think you're right. You're always going to have people that may disagree or have different judgments. That's okay. But what's not okay is if to continually disrupt games and continually to have these arguments. And that's why these tips, and hopefully, if you can calm them down, get the temperature down, explain things to them, listen to them, and hopefully that will solve the situation. I wish everybody the best of luck out there. Baseball's an outstanding, wonderful game. It's done great things for me, for sure. But it's hopefully these tips will help you to get through a season without an ejection. That would be great, and maybe you won't even have to watch this video again, okay? Good luck, everybody.